Today we welcome County Manager George Wood to the studio, and it sure is a pleasure to have you back with us.
Glad to be here, Wayne.
You doing okay?
Doing good.
Man, I'll tell you what, the county is humming. We got a lot going on.
Got a lot going on.
A lot of stuff going on, but I had to ask you during the last commissioners meeting, in fact, the two commissioner meetings back, there was the naming of a road, a service road, in the western part of the area, out near 581, connecting 581 to Community Drive. And there was some discussion about naming that road, giving that road a proper name, and there were several names suggested,
Right.
but none was selected. And it was decided by commissioners to, since we couldn't come up with a name, or couldn't agree to a name, decided by commissioners to put all the names in a hat and then draw a name out of the hat,
Right.
which I guess is a valid way of doing it. So Isaac Smith Road was the name that was chosen.
That's correct.
But I thought it was interesting that mode of selecting the name was used to select the name. All right, now how did we get to that point? I mean, did we try anything else, or was that an act of desperation?
It might have been. I think what happened was we had 3 or 4 families that had mentioned names of their ancestors and that sort of thing. So it really was a difficult decision to make, and I think the board just felt like they were all deserving, and so the only fair thing to do was just draw lots. And so that's what we did, and then Marcia came up with the hard hat she has in her office.
Marcia has a hard hat in her office.
Has a hard hat in her office, I'll tell you. The clerk's job is tough.
I know. She needs a hard hat.
That's right.
I thought it was interesting that one of the names was someone was considering the name of that donkey that was out there on the side.
Yeah.
Always out on the side of the road.
Braying Donkey Road.
Yeah, the Braying Donkey Road or something like that.
Yeah.
And that would have been my choice.
Well, we had some discussion about whether that should be in the pot.
Yeah.
And the answer was no.
No. Oh boy, life is interesting
Yes,
with commissioners, I'll tell you. This is the middle of budget season. Where do we stand on the county budget?
Well, we finished it Saturday night, as a matter of fact. So we're done with it. The ladies in finance are making copies now and putting the books together. I'll do the presentation of the budget to the board next Tuesday in the morning. And then about 2 weeks later, we'll have some budget work sessions. But before that, we'll have a public hearing on June the 7th, where anybody from the public can come in and make any comments they want on it.
Okay.
And shortly after I make the presentation, probably within a day or two, we typically have it on our website, so anybody can see the whole document and go through it. But it's a fairly lengthy document, but I would say if people just want to see the key elements, I would say read the budget message, because we discuss a lot of the key issues that we're trying to deal with in the budget.
But everything in the budget will be available to the public.
Yes, absolutely.
Every dime will be accounted for,
that's right.
and everything will be right there.
Yeah, it's a line item budget, so they can see everything that we spend money on.
I also want to mention that this will be shown streamed Tuesday live on Channel 10.
Good.
And Channel 99. We're going to stream this.
That'll be good.
So if you can watch it on the internet, that would be fine.
Good.
Right.
Yeah, we'll. It typically goes for about 45 minutes to an hour when I make the presentation, because I'm going through the various funds and hitting the highlights on the budget itself. We start drilling down on it really at the 2 work sessions.
Right.
So that also gives the board about 2 weeks to read through everything before we start drilling down on it as far as the work sessions. Because I mean, if you just give it to them, they obviously haven't had time to go through it.
Right. Do you know of any major, what in your mind is a major change in the budget compared to last year or year before?
It's actually very similar. I don't think we have any major changes. The biggest thing is we're looking at some capital projects. I think everybody saw the article in the paper yesterday where we've been working with the school board on what to do about some of their capital facilities.
Right.
So I've been working with Dr. Dunsmore on that. And we have some plans that we'll be coming forward with on there. The school board, as you saw, has already voted on that plan, so it'll come over to our board now, and I'm writing up a memorandum now for our board to go over that and attaching Mike's Dr. Dunsmore's plan to that, so that our board sees in detail exactly what they're wanting to do. And of course, my part of it is, after you get through with that, is then how do we pay for it?
Right.
Yeah. So, but I think we've got a good plan for doing that, and I'm looking forward to going over that with the board.
Okay. Any new word on the Ag Center, the Convention Center?
Everything is on schedule. We hope to be doing a groundbreaking late June.
Oh boy.
So we're meeting with the architect and the construction manager at risk next Tuesday. We had a meeting this week. We were looking at some areas where we might be able to save some money, and ended up making decisions on everything but about 4 items. So they're going to come back with our committee Tuesday, and we'll pull the trigger on those, make those decisions, and at that point we've pretty much finished the design, and then the architect will finish up with the detailed plans at that point. And the first contract we're going to let, Wayne, is the site work, so we can go ahead and do it early while they're still bidding out all the other subcontractors.
Okay.
So we think we can break ground on it in late June.
Wow, that's not very far away.
No,
that's
it's
pretty
not.
quick,
About a month.
That is really exciting.
Yeah, we're very excited about it.
You know, George, here, I don't think we talked about it the last time, but a while back we were talking about the Wayne County facility, some of the buildings that we're in. We're losing some of its gloss and some of its newness, and there's some things happening. Where do we stand on updating any of the buildings?
Well, we're one of the things we're doing right now is our DSS department is overcrowded, but we had been leasing out 3 floors of the Borden building to East Point, and while at the same time I had a totally overcrowded DSS department. DSS was in 3 floors of that, East Point was in the other 3. So their lease was coming up, and we went to the board, and the board agreed. We informed them we were not going to extend it because we need that space for DSS.
Right.
So we're going to pick up 3 floors there. That'll help with the overcrowding on the DSS. Right. We've got a number of projects that we're looking at, but the biggest thing right now is, as you said, is the Maximal Regional Agricultural Convention Center. That will replace our Cooperative Extension offices, USDA, and Soil and Water. In addition, of course, it'll give us a convention center that we've never had before, also a farmer's market out there. So we're excited about that project. That will allow us to then move some folks out of some fairly old facilities there. And then we'll backfill. The USDA office is in fairly good shape, so we'll be able to probably do some renovations there and make some reuse of that one.
Okay.
But I think our biggest thing right now is the Maxwell Regional Agricultural and Convention Center. We are doing a study. We've had a study done on our 911 facility, and it is maxed out. We don't have any way to add any chairs in that facility, and yet our call volume is growing. So we're looking at that. We recently moved Wayne Net, which is our non-emergency medical transport operation. We moved that into the old Pinewood Volunteer Fire Department building. We, that when that fire department went out of business, the land was given to the county and the building, and so we've renovated that and moved Wayne Net into that, and moved them from our Madison Avenue building, which is in pretty bad shape.
That's in bad shape, and the Pinewood, former Pinewood Fire Department building there is a really, that's a great move.
Yeah, it's a great move. Yeah. It's a good location for them. It's centrally located, so we're pleased with that. But I think we're just trying to move forward with the projects, and then the other thing, of course, is we've got to do something with some of these schools.
Yes.
So people can differ about exactly what they want to do, but I think it's pretty obvious to everyone we've got some issues with some of our facilities there.
Will we address those issues coming up the next the next fiscal year?
It'll be the next fiscal year. That's what we're looking at, is the Board of Education is coming with a 5-year facilities plan. That's what we've been working with Dr. Dunsmore on, because it doesn't help to have a plan if it's unrealistic in terms of what you can afford. Right. And I give I give Mike great credit on that, and Chris West as well, the chairman of the board. I think they've worked with us very well on determining what can we realistically afford to do.
I've seen a lot of that happening here lately, where the county and the Board of Education working together.
Yeah, yeah. It's a good working relationship.
Yes, it certainly is. And finally, I wanted to ask you about the new detention center. Man, it's coming along.
Yeah, it is. It's supposed to open in October.
Right.
As people ride by now, of course, they can see the brick veneers going on it. The roof, the paper is on the roof now. The tar paper's on the roof, so they'll be going along with shingles here shortly. So that building is coming along rapidly, and I think Daniels & Daniels has done a great job on that project for us.
They certainly have. We are out of time, but I want to let you know how much we appreciate you coming in and keeping us up to date about what's going on in Wayne County.
Glad to do it, Wayne.
Thank you. George Wood is the county manager for the County of Wayne, and I thank you very much.
Thank you.